Blame Truth here, the Codfather himself, bringing you another video. It is a sad day because Vonderhaar, David Vonderhaar, Desert Dave with his Ram Power Wagon, has left Treyarch. This is a huge, huge blow to Call of Duty as a whole because, as you know, Treyarch works on like every other game for every other studio in the Call of Duty franchise, as well as their own, of course. But I don't think you guys realize how big of a problem this is actually going to be for the future of Call of Duty, because a lot of people did not have hope until Treyarch's next game. And now I just kind of think there is no hope. And you might think I'm being dramatic with that. But I've been saying this to people in the comments section. Hope in one hand and shit in the other. And tell me which one fills up faster. You know? With this franchise, man, I'll take the shit-filled hand. I'll put my money on that every single time. Let's read what Treyarch has to say, though. They say, farewell to the legendary David Vonderhaar, whose discipline, creativity, and innovation helped shape our games from COD 2, Big Red 1 to Black Ops Cold War. His iconic phrases and groundbreaking ideas will be missed. You can say that again. Vonderhaar, I don't even want to give this guy too much credit here because I did rag on him a lot for Cold War. Cold War was the worst Treyarch game they've ever made. He had, I think, the least hands-on approach to it, though. Like, he didn't really help that much with it, from what I understand. Is it a coincidence that it's the worst one? I don't know. I don't know. But let's take a look at what all he worked on here. Right there in the middle, that Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, World at War section, that right there, I think, really was the pinnacle of Call of Duty. That's not even me being a fanboy. I just think that from World at War to Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, all three of these games were good in their own way. They all felt unique. They all kind of pushed boundaries. They tried to be innovative. And I don't know. Vonderhaar, he helped with Blackout, of course, with Black Ops 4, but he didn't really help with Cold War. He was mostly in the desert, and that's a verified fact. The fact that we've lost him now, and the fact that Cold War is pretty much their worst game, is very, very worrying. Guys, I don't know what to tell you other than don't be hopeful. Don't be hopeful. Vonderhaar was a guy that back in the day, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm telling you like an old school story here, but back in the day, I didn't really like MW2 OG at the time. I'm sorry. I still don't really like it that much. I'm sorry. I think Modern Warfare 3, like the OG Modern Warfare 3, not Modern Who Cares 3, the new one coming out. I thought the OG MW3 was just a better MW2 in like pretty much every way. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but facts don't care about your feelings. Modern Warfare 3, I think, was just the better designed game. Overall, I think it was the game that Infinity Ward intended to make. But during that lawsuit with MW2 back in the day, they couldn't update things the way they wanted. You know, it was a big mess. So, regardless. I didn't like MW2 back in the day, and I'm like, hey, Treyarch, you guys made World at War. You kind of fixed COD 4's blunders with the 3x frag and the martyrdom and all that stuff. Can you, I don't know, do something? And I made a video with my concerns and my wish list for Black Ops 1. I'm not sure if anyone remembers this. And David Vonderhaar actually addressed this video in an interview and went over all my points, was very forthright and very open about everything. And, you know, we talked a little bit on Twitter after that. And direct communication with the lead dev of Treyarch, like the design director of Treyarch. You don't get that anymore. You just don't get that. Unless you're, I don't know, unless you're some guy sucking their dick or whatever. But no, I was concerned about Call of Duty back then, just like I'm concerned now. Granted, I was a bit nicer back then. But regardless, he addressed all of my concerns. And I like to think that I had somewhat of a hand in influencing some decisions with Black Ops 1. And Black Ops 1, to this day, I think is considered one of the better Call of Duty games, if not the best Call of Duty game. Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, I don't think you could ever find Call of Duty games more innovative than those two, personally. I thought those two were just, I mean, if you combine those two games, just specifically, I think you literally have the perfect Call of Duty, in my humble opinion. And to lose Vonderhaar, in all seriousness, you know, I've called him the bald fraud, I've called him Desert Dave, I've made fun of him for overlanding in the desert instead of doing his job, but you know what? It was very clear with Cold War, he's checked out. And really, at this stage, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Cold War was so bad, and I know people say, like, oh, it's the best one out of the past 4 years, and that's fine. Like, I'd rather drink piss than liquid diarrhea. It doesn't mean that piss tastes good, right? That's how I look at Cold War. Cold War is the best Call of Duty out of the last 4 years, but it's not hard to do that. I could probably make a better Call of Duty with, like, 50 programmers and a 6-pack of Bud Light over the course of the next 6 months, truthfully. Like, give me the code to, I don't know, Modern Warfare 2 OG or something. We'll think of something that's going to be better. But regardless, this is a huge blow. This is a huge blow. All the hope you've had for Treyarch's next entry, you may want to really tone that down, because Vonderhaar, I really do think he was directly responsible for Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 being as good as they were. And I don't think that's me overstating it. If anything, I'm understating it. He also helped with Blackout. He was the guy that brought Call of Duty's first Battle Royale to life. Like, losing it, is Treyarch even going to be the same? It remains to be seen, but I doubt it. I doubt it. That's not the only thing I want to cover in this video, though, because I was actually losing sleep a little bit last night. That might sound ridiculous, right? You're losing sleep over Call of Duty, BT, but I was laying in bed, and my eyes shoot open like that Squidward meme when I kept replaying this sentence in my head. And this sentence is this, from this little bit of news we got yesterday. All 16 launch maps from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2009 have been modernized, both graphically and with meticulous attention given to the authenticity and aspects of the maps that made them so popular. That specific sentence has been playing in my mind since I read it yesterday. That's from Sledgehammer Games and Activision and Call of Duty's blog post yesterday talking about MW3. But there's a big problem here. There's a big problem here with Modern Who Cares 3. And that problem is they can't win. They're not going to make people happy with what they're doing here. No matter what they do, they've kind of backed themselves into a corner. Let me explain. That sentence implies that they are going to change up the base Modern Warfare 2 maps and update them, quote unquote, for modern gamers. Here's the thing. If they just ported over the maps and updated them graphically, people are going to shit on that because it's lazy. That's pretty lazy. I mean, they're not... I've already paid for these maps. I've paid for these maps back in 2009. Why do I have to pay $70 for them again? Someone please tell me, because I simply do not know. I simply do not know. Like, seriously. So, I think they realize that. I think they realize, hey, we can't just port these maps over. We gotta mess with them. And we have seen, the past several years, we have seen them completely butcher recycled, remastered maps. Butcher. Look no further. Look no further than Modern Warfare 2019. Look no further than Joe Secot's Wet Dream, adding, I think I counted like 20 doors to crash, adding safe spaces to crash, adding new sight lines to crash. Not just crash, but every other map they brought back and remastered and stuff. This is going to be a disaster. This next game is going to be a disaster. And if you don't think Treyarch has a hand in this, take a look at who all worked on it. I mean, Treyarch helped work on MW2, for what it's worth. Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2, I mean. They're also working on Modern Who Cares 3 here. So that's a thing. That's a thing. But, like, dude, with Vonderhaar gone, I think they're just like a windsock, man. They're just kind of blowing in the wind. You know, they're catching whatever comes their way. They have no direction. I don't think this is going to end well. The fact that Modern Who Cares 3, at this point, it just sounds like a worse Cold War. And people are saying, well, BT, they're giving you what you want with the gameplay and you're not happy. Well, why not? Because this gameplay should be expected. This should not be a selling point. We figured this shit out like 10 years ago. Why are we bringing this stuff back that should have never been taken away in the first place and touting it as like some selling point? No, fuck that. If I go to an ice cream shop and the ice cream shop suddenly starts melting my ice cream, right? Like it's just melted slop with like, I don't know, roaches in it or something like that. And I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna eat here because it sucks. And then like next year they're like, hey, we reopened and our ice cream no longer has roaches and it's no longer melted. So come get it. Like, why would I bother coming back? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's not a far-fetched analogy there. Like, why would I come back to that ice cream shop knowing they're past? It doesn't matter if they're offering the bare minimum. I expect that. I expect that for any game I purchase or play. The bare minimum is not a selling point. Repeat after me in the comments. Everyone say it. The bare minimum is not a selling point. It isn't. Straight up isn't. Like, I don't know what else to say. But with Vonderhaar gone, Treyarch's working on modern Who Cares 3 here with Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer's content just to rip off old games, rip off MW2's engine, and then rip off Cold War with its gameplay. I mean, I hope it's good, but again, hope in one hand, shit in the other. Tell me which one fills up faster. Anyway, guys, I'm out of time here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you know, drop a like rating. It has been... oh, it's been a crazy 24 hours for Call of Duty, and I mean that in the most boring way possible, because, man, no good news is news. It's just, I hate to say it, but it is. Guys, I'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good one. Peace.
Some parting advice?